Basically, this is for Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. This is for the first game, basically. So the reason why I'm doing this is to help incoming players who want to get to understand the game a little bit, to know which talents or skills to pick up. Some of them are redundant, some of them you get through wands, equipment, items that you're wearing, apparels. So some of them are not things that you should pick up, but some of them are things that you definitely need. So we're just going to run in here and then see what some of the skills are. And I know some of you already are familiar with some of these things since you're already beginning to play the game. So let's jump right in, shall we? Alright, so the first skill is going to be Air Surge, and you already know what it is. It has to do with air-related abilities. That means it has to do with thunder, stunning, stuff like that. So let's just look at some of the things that you definitely need in the game. Okay, so at level 2 of each skill, you have the ability to pick up 6 novice abilities, and I think maybe two adepts or something like that. So the main thing about it is to always try to get the novice skills. Now I'm going to show you the novice skills when it comes to arrow. Bitter Cold is a must. You can get this on, on your character. I can say that to some degree, having this on any kind of character besides a mage is almost not good, but it is one of the better skills. This skill almost all the time does what it needs to do, except if the person has some kind of a resistance to air or something like that, and then it won't work. Blitz Bolt, don't bother yourself about this. Some items do carry it, but if you must, then get it for your mage. But the action points is too much, and the damage it does is very, very little. And then it gives you only 70% chance to even stun the target. So for me, I just don't believe it's worth it. But if you can get it, get it. It won't harm you. Avatar of the Storms. I believe that this skill is good. It's definitely something that you might want to get for your party, most especially for the mage. If the mage has it, it's great that the mage has it. I think I read somewhere that it might even cause a stun when you put it on somebody. I mean, the person has the ability to stun the melee attacker who hits him. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's different from what I'm seeing here, but to some degree, I thought that it also causes you to cause some kind of shock when somebody hits you. But this is good. Shocking Touch is a must. Get it. It really helps. It to some degree it does what it needs to do. Towards the end of the game, it doesn't do much. At the beginning of the game, this is a good thing to also have on maybe your tank or your rogue. Anyone that has a mobility on the battlefield that can go into the midst of almost everybody and start attacking. I mean, it's a very good skill to have in the beginning, but not towards the ending, because then everybody's resistant to it, except for the mage. The mage still has the ability to still stun somebody, but if you're using this on any other character, it's a waste of space. But in the beginning, like from 1 to 4, it's a very excellent skill to get. Teleportation. This should be for the rogue and for the mage. It actually allows the rogue to transport toy, any kind of toy, or to transport people away from other people. I mean, it takes a lot. It's almost 7 action points. So personally, I would say only use it. Let's say, for instance, you have an archer. You can use this to send people far away from you if they're approaching a little bit too fast. So it's good to have it on all your characters. And again, remember, it doesn't have some kind of it's not dependent on any kind of intelligence. So it will always work regardless of who you put it on. It will always work. So this has to be on everybody if you can. But I would suggest, rogue, archer, and the mage should have it if you want to have it. But it's definitely something you should have. Thunder jump, I would say the people to get it is the rogue and the tank or the two-handed individual, so that they can get in there and start their mix-up. Very good. I mean, the chance for it to stun is very low. As you can see here, it's 50%. But the thing you get, on the side is hang on, I just pressed the button. I just want to see what I can get it to become a full screen. Okay, moving on. Wind of change. Basically, this affects what do you call it again? This is very good. Have this on all your characters. Okay, very good. Mid game, you're gonna have a lot of people trying to petrify you. Mid game, you're also gonna have a lot of people trying to slow you. Stuns, you're gonna get this in the beginning of the game. There's gonna be a tons of stuns, electric stuns, whatever you have. So basically, in all corner of the game, you're always gonna be using this. So have this on all your characters is incredible. I wish it also did kind of warming or something like that, because that you're gonna get in the mid and ending game where they keep on trying to freeze you. So yeah, I wish it did it. It's really great. This it's a lifesaver. So if I was to recommend any 6 for you to pick up, I would say Bitter Cold is a must. Avatar of the Storm, it's nice to have. Shocking Touch for your mage is a must. Teleportation is a must for a lot of your characters if you can. Thunder Jump, it's for certain distance, but for your mage, no. And then Wind of Change. So for neutral characters, I would say, for all the best 6 output is this: Bitter Cold, Avatar Storms, Shocking Touch, Teleportation, Thunder Jump, and Wind of Change. That's it. Blitz, situational. You can put it on your distance, on your mage. But eventually it's going to lose its luster after the first part of the game. It's no use. Alright. For the adepts, we're looking at invincibility. Invincibility is good. Get it. It will save your mage a lot of headaches. So let's just say you don't have stench on your mage. That's the stench talent. Let's say you don't have that. You can basically just put this on your mage, and it will save your mage a lot of headache. Trust me on this one. Keep your mage out there for 2 turns or so. I mean, it's nice to have. Air absorption shield, don't bother with it. I've barely seen any situation where I've actually used it. It's not worth it in my personal opinion. And again, many equipments, many items in the game, many apparels carry this, so don't even bother with it. It's useless. Head vice, in the beginning of the game, don't bother with it, because a lot of wands actually have the head vice. So your mage can actually carry this from the wands. However, maybe towards the ending, you might want to put it on your mage. But for me, I felt like this was just padding out. As the game went on, this was just padding out that, okay, I have all these action points that I need to use, so I just used it. But truth be told, many of the time I forgot that it was there. But yeah, a lot of ones would have it. Tornado, this is definitely something that you should get. Some apparels carry it, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 apparels carry it, but yeah, it's something that you need to have on you, basically. Yeah. it's best to have it. It's a very good skill, very good skill. Um, Summon Air Elemental. Summon Air is good, but the thing about it is that too many ones carry this Summon Air. So you might want to hold off on getting it on yourself because of the amount of ones that carry it. And the truth of the matter is that there's only so much skills. There's only so much, let's just say, so much skills you can put out there before the individuals you're fighting die. Especially when you have lots and lots of summons in the game. So this just depends on your wands. The wands have 3 of them on it. Use them. So the 4 you should select are invincibility. This is a must for your main guy. Tornado is a must, and then you can pick between Summon Air Elemental and Advice, or in fact you can pick both of them. Okay, and that'll be it. This is useless. I've never had an opportunity whereby I had to use it a lot. I just personally think it's useless. It's just useless. Just completely useless. So that's the 4. I've made your job easy. Boom. Okay, master skills. When it comes to master skills, I'm gonna say this. When it comes to thunderstorms, I think thunderstorms is useless. And that's the thing. You can basically get scrolls for thunderstorms. Alright? That makes it worth your while. It takes 4 to cast it when you're using it as a scroll. It takes 4 to cast it. So if you're lucky enough, you can get multiple thunderstorm scrolls. That'd be nice. But to have it on you, personally, it's not worth it because it also can affect you if there's water on the floor. I mean, it can turn the tide of battle. That it can. At least for 3 turns, it can turn the tide of battle for you. I mean, to continue to go, like you cast it once, but the storm continues to go after at least for 2 turns, right? So it can definitely work for you. However, I just feel as if it's a waste of space. You can always buy this thing. You can always buy the scroll. The scroll is about 1,450, and by the time you even start gaining access to this storm, the amount of money you're going to be collecting will be enormous. I mean, you're gonna be asking yourself what to do with your money. So basically, it's better for you to just go over to. There's a guy in. Hopefully you don't kill him. I think he's an imp, or what do you call this this thing that you meet? I've forgotten what it is. It's like I know there's an imp. There's a goblin. I think it's a goblin. It's a goblin that carries it. Always carries it. For 1,450. So you can just go in there and just, stock up on it throughout the course of the game. Every 1 hour, stock up on it. You're gonna have dozens on you, and you can use it at the end game boss, or you can use it whenever you want. But this is it's not worth having it. If you have it as a scroll, then yeah, you can cast it multiple times in the game. It doesn't matter. Make invincible. I don't think it's worth it because you want to continue to fight with everybody. But if you feel like you want to stock up on AP so that you can kill the enemy in one good swish, you can basically use this make invincible. But in my personal opinion, I don't think it's worth it. But you can utilize it if you really want to do so. Okay, because if you want to stock up on AP, stock up on your AP, and again, it makes that target invincible for 5 turns, so you can force that target to to store AP for a couple of turns, most especially for the tank. But if you do it on the tank, you have to get AP. There's nobody to take the damage, so it's not wise to. I mean, in my personal opinion, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Nether swaps. This is a very good skill. It almost replaces teleportation. but I think it's an added bonus. And again, look at it. It only takes 2 action points. All right, 2 action points. You know, so to switch places with the character, this is a very, very good skill. Very good skill. Depending on how you use it. Lightning, chain lightning. This is very good. This is a very good skill. Once you have access to it, go ahead and get it. It's one of the first skills you should get, or you can do the nether swap, whichever one. But I believe either nether swap or chain lightning. But nether swap in itself gives you what you really need quickly. But chain lightning in itself comes with apparels, wands, what have you. So you can hold off on it. But personally, I think that if you have an opportunity, it is a better form than using what do you call it again? A blitz. It's better than is great. It's better than blitz. Far better than blitz. So if you can get it early. But nether swap, nothing else gives you nether swap. No items, nothing. It's just you have to buy the book and use it. But chain lightning, storms, these things you can get from other places, and even what do you call this thing again? Scrolls. You can get them in scrolls. But nether swap, I've not seen a scroll that has nether swap on it. But chain lightning and storms, you're definitely gonna get scrolls that are related to that. So yeah, and basically at level 12, I was able to buy this and then attach it to a book in order to create what I wanted. So in my personal opinion, if you wanted to get two abilities, I would say nether swap and chain lightning. Forget about storms. It's just useless in my personal opinion. Those two are better. Okay, so just to recap, things that you need to get on that arrow: bitter cold, avatar of storms, thunder jump, teleportation, shocking touch, and wind of change. These are the 6 very great abilities, and then the 4 great abilities that you need to get is invincible, tornado, summon air elemental, and head vise. And then the 2 great master skills that you can get are going to be nether swap and chain lightning. That's it. For expert marksman, I'm gonna say that for the 6 you need to get, especially if you're playing the game, I would say if you must and you don't have a dedicated healer, okay, if you don't have a dedicated healer, I would go with first aid. First aid is good, it helps with crippling. There's tons of opportunity for the bad guys to give you bleeding and crippling. These 2 things will constantly haunt you throughout the game. It's very good for you to have those on you. Plus, again, it has a 4-turn cooldown. I mean, it's definitely something to have with other things, with other abilities too. Okay. Second is range power stance. Very, very important. If you have this, you can definitely do some damage. Okay. However, since you have other abilities, since you have other people around to help take the brunt of a lot of things, especially when you have people that are on the close up, this may not be needed. Okay, this range power stance might not be needed. So I would say cancel this. All right, better to go precision stance. Okay, better to go precision stance. All it does is that it removes your movement. I mean, at times as a ranger, you're not even really moving. Right? As a ranger, you're not really moving. You're in one position. you have increased your perception enough to be able to see things that are far away. So this is useless almost, unless you want a situation whereby you can see them so far away that you have enough time to continue trying to at least get a critical on them before they even come within normal range. But most of the time you don't really need it. So this range for this range precision stance, this is good. It's a good skill to have. Ricochet, this is a must. You must have this. Wow, this does good damage. This is a good skill. Okay, I had fun, a lot of fun having this skill on hand. Treating poison. This is for you and you alone, personally. I mean, if it's possible for you to share this, fine. But there's so much poisons in the game. So much poison in the game. You could basically, save yourself some headache by using this. And if you have a poison resistant potion that at least add 15% while you have this street poison on you, you can heal from the poisoning. Okay, so yeah, this is also a must to have it. Doctor, oh jeez, if you know how many times this has helped, this is, I mean, you're going to suffer from weakening a lot. Weakening. It's painful. Too much weakening in the game. Yeah, have this. If you have this, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. Splintered Arrow, it's a must. Get it. I'm not even going to argue. Get it. This does tremendous amount of damage. So the 6 to get, and this is easy, okay, for you to make. First aid, ranged precision stance, ricochet, tree poisoning, doctor, and splintered arrow. Now, doctor is going to be hard for you to find anywhere. Okay, there's only one place I think you can find it, and so if you find it, I would say if you have a dedicated healer, put it on your dedicated healer. But put it on the range target, or even on your rogue, can really help. Okay, so if you have a rogue that is doubling as an archer and also as a rogue, definitely go for it. Okay, this is really good to have. Splintered Arrow is great. It's really great. Alright, adept skills. Now, you can only select 4 adept skills. Alright, you can only select 4 adept skills. Now, this is good. Basically, if you're dealing with blinded and so on and so forth, this is really good. It can help besides using Burn My Eyes. It's a very good skill to have. Survivor's Karma is also a very good skill to have. Okay, so a lot of these titles for 5 turns. Alright, and also gives you 100% chance to set karma for 5 turns. Alright, so this is really good. It helps increases everyone's critical score, basically. The next one is going to absorb the elements. I never trusted this. I don't trust this. I never did. Okay, because I mean, yeah, sure, you can use Fortify to mitigate this -20 armor rating, but I don't know what to say. I mean, it's good, and it only costs 3 action points, but I feel as if the other characters, like, let's just say towards the ending of the game, the other characters can provide all those shielding, because to some degree, mages become weak towards the end of the game. They become useless. They can't even do solid damage. So to spend 3 points to try and, what do you call it again, to try and put this on you, oh, I don't know. I just felt it was too much. I just felt it was too much. Okay, moving on. Barrage, always get it. I'm not even going to discuss it. You already know what it is. Get it. In fact, this has to do with, I mean, it's good for you to use maybe on bosses. It's good maybe on bosses, but anyway, do as you will. I mean, many of these archer abilities are situational, in my personal opinion. But it gets the job done. That's how I'm going to put it. Vampiric Arrow, I think if you pick up, what do you call this again? If you call this 5-star diner, if you pick it up, you don't really even need this. You don't even need this. This is almost like having regeneration on. And to some degree, although in the beginning of the game, regeneration is a great skill to have on all your party members. And I would personally say, between this and regeneration, I'd rather take regeneration. Because it has a shorter cooldown. So for this, if you were to pick only 4, I would hesitate. And again, you have what we call 5-star diner, which would beat this thing out. It will beat it out because you have the ability to heal yourself over 2 turns for 30%. This just heal 70 vitality over. That's about 30%. 30% is a huge deal. Okay, from food, 30% is a lot of heal. Even regeneration couldn't even meet the demands towards the end of the game because everybody was just chewing on food for 3 AP, and it will heal more than regeneration. Regeneration was more like a pre-buff before any game. So yeah, eating meals is better than this. At least you deal damage, but eating meals is better than this. So let's look at it again. What are the skills to get? If you were to go for any, I would say Farseer, Survivor's Karma, Barrage. Those are the 3 that you need to get. The rest are just situational. If you wished to get something else, if you really, really wish to get something else, I would say, in fact, get that one. Because at least it does a good amount of problem, to the main boss. But other than that, yeah. This one is situational. You don't need to be in the elements. You can just walk away from the element. Walk away from that element. You don't even need this. So these are the 4: Farseer, Survivor's Karma, Barrage, and Infect. That's it. Any other thing is just, you're just trying to have fun. Alright. Master maximum skills. I don't even need to tell you this one. You already know what to get. Check it out. Rain of Arrows. This alone breaks the whole game. This alone breaks the game. It breaks it for me. It breaks it for me. It just puts the archer in a whole different class. So it establishes the archer as a death dealer. Okay, the archer came to collect heads, and it's going to have its heads by the end of the game, whether you like it or not. And then if you also want to add something extra, for me personally, I only go up to 4 marksman, pick up this, and then call it a day. But if you want to go extra, you want to go 5 in marksman, and you are not able to find any item that gives you +1 to marksman, yeah, I would just simply say go arrow spray. Arrow spray is nice. It's really a good skill. You can go arrow spray. Okay, but for me, I'll stop at 4, level 4 marksman, and use the point and go somewhere else. And this is the only thing I'm gonna pick up. Call it a day. That's it. The rest are just situational. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So let's just recap. Make sure that we understand where we are supposed to be. First aid, range precision stance, ricochet, 3 poisoning, doctor, and splintered arrow. These are the 6 you will get if you're increasing your marksman past 2 or up to 2. Okay. Adept skills to get: Farseer, Survivor's Karma, Infect, and Barrage. That's the 4 you're gonna get. That's even in case you went all the way to 4 on your marksman skills. So those are the 4 to get, and then the last one to get is Rain of Arrows. Get it, man. This thing is a damage dealer. If you go 5, then get spray arrow spray, and call it a day. That's it. If you want to mess with anything, you can mess with the shrapnel scatter, but in my personal opinion, it's useless. Okay, it's a useless skill. It's just there to occupy space. Let's go over to Geomancer. Now these are earth-related abilities. Okay. Now, if you have a Geomancer mage, this is a very good place to have a lot of stuff. So we're gonna look at Avatar of Poison. Avatar of Poison is really good. All right, it's a very good skill to have. It's almost a must. Just basically something that you need to have. You gotta have it. You know, a lot of people tell you it's not necessary, but look at this. Geo only has 6. So that means you have to have all of it as a Geo mage. You have to have all of it. It's a must. Have all of it. Okay? Now, you're not going to have items that are going to have this. I mean, Avatar of Poison, some items may, but it's fun in between. So get it. Bless. Bless is a must. I can't stress this enough. This single skill alone helped me with my 2-handed warrior. You know, whenever it goes into a rage, into a power stance, this skill alone helps in causing so much damage. Okay, because it gives me an increase in hit chance. Oh, hold on. Yeah, chance to hit +30. Okay. So when you go into rage, I think it's -25. This gives you +30. So it basically offsets that skill. So it's a great skill to have. Great. I cannot stress this enough. If you must have it, try and have it on all your characters. But this is a great skill to have. It's great. And again, towards the mid and the ending, you're going to be exposed to so much curse. You might as well just have this. I mean, you're going to have gears. They're going to have so much gear that give you immunity to curse. So you might not even need it by the time you go into mid and towards ending. But man, having this on with my rogue, with my 2-handed warrior, or dual wielding warrior, this is a must have. I'm going to repeat this. A must have. It's a must, people. A must. Okay. Boulder Bash. Now, Boulder Bash is something that you have to have in the beginning of the game. You have to create a trail of fire because you're meeting a lot of zombies, you're meeting a lot of skeletons, whatever it is. You're meeting all these things that are so vulnerable to fire. So if you keep pumping this thing out creating a trail of fire that they must have to walk through in order to get to you. You don't even have to lift a finger. You don't have to repair equipment. You just put this trail there and tell them to come to you. And trust me on this one, they will burn. They will continue to burn until the end. So in the beginning of the game, it's kind of boring. You're not gonna use many of your skills. You're just gonna dedicate yourself to just setting fire. So anything that would allow you to create fire, just create it on the floor and have these guys burn and give you your XP. That's it. Okay, so this is important to have on all characters in the beginning of the game. After that, get rid of this, put bless on there and call it a quit. But in the beginning of the game, all characters should have this, so you can create your trail of fire and you don't even have to lift a finger. All you just do is just keep creating this thing. And again, look at this. Your this does not depend on what do you call this again? Intelligence. So that means it will always be casted, whether you like it or not. Always be casted. So fire is very, very important. Get this. Midnight oil. Everybody should have this in the beginning. Everybody should have this. I mean, you wouldn't even have to even lift a finger in the beginning until you reach level 6 or even level 8. You don't even need to lift a finger. Just keep creating your fire. And that is it. Put it on the max, put it on honor mode, whatever it is. There's boulder bash. These two things, very important in the beginning of the game. Once you have these two things, create your fire and, you know, basically increase your chances of finishing your honor game just by creating that fire, you know. So up until level 8, level 9, level 10, basically these two things assures you that you are not gonna die during the first course of the game. Okay, especially if you set it up correctly. If you don't know how to do it, then that's too bad. Summon spider. Everybody needs to have this. Everybody needs to have summon spider. This is not negotiable. Have it. Everybody must have it. So that means if you put 1 point in Geomancer, these are the 3 things you have to have: Boulder Bash, Midnight Oil, Summon Spider. Every individual must have this. Okay, this Summon Spider allows you to increase the amount of people that are on the board. It gives you the ability to create 8-man army on the board to fight. And let me tell you something. Many of the times in the beginning of the game, these spiders are going to serve as meat shields. They're not even going to allow anything come through. That means nothing is going to touch you. Okay? Create your fire. Put your spiders in front of the fire. Let them all come through. The spiders are not going to allow them to get through. And then you just keep on fighting that way. And trust me, 6 turns in a game is a very short amount of time, and trust me, your spider would outlast many of the times in the beginning of the game, as long as you don't allow them to go through the fire, will outlast this to the point that you will have time again to put another spider to replace the spider that is half or quarter or 3/4 damaged. So yeah, these spiders, if you have multiple spiders, they will outlast the whole situation. So yeah, great things to have, especially when you're playing on honor mode. Great. Fortify. Yeah, your mage has to have it. So let's just go over this. All of this, your mage has to have all of them. It's a must. Your mage has to have all of them. Because it's 6/6, your mage has to have it. But the in the beginning of the game, the things you need is Boulder Bash, Summon Spider, and Midnight Oil. Mid game, drop Boulder Bash and take the Bless, and that is it on all your characters, and that is it. Adept skills to have. Okay, now here's the situation. In this game, you're gonna meet a lot of Geomancers. That's the crazy thing about this game. You're gonna meet a lot of Geomancers. So this Earth Absorption Shield is really good. It will help. It will help, especially towards the end game. It prevents petrification, because there's going to be a lot of petrification. But now I think Wind of Change If you put it on all your characters, you might not need this. Okay, but if one of them does the tectonic spray on you guys, then that's a problem, because then you're taking out two people out of the situation. So you may need to have this. Okay, you may need to have this on your mage, on your geo mage. You might not need it a lot, but you need to have this. Since you already have Wind of Change, if you have this on at least one or two people, it does help. But it's not really needed. Only one person, most especially your front line, should be placed on your front line person, and they should be good. That's it. Magical Poison Dart, man, this thing hits like a truck. This thing hits like a truck. I'm gonna say this again. This Magical Poison Dart, this thing hits like a truck. Like a truck. Okay? Man, the moment you get it. In the first part of the game, this is gonna be useless because you're gonna be meeting a lot of undead, so they heal from that. But then afterwards, this thing paves way. This thing lays a lot of bodies in its wake. Okay, so don't mess with this thing. This thing is deadly. The amount of damage it does, I couldn't believe what it does. But man, if somebody's burning and you hit this on them, oh jeez, God bless your souls. Petrifying Touch, get this. Okay, this is something that you can get. It's great to have. I would suggest that you get this. It keeps the person petrified for 2 turns. It does so much. Get this. Get this. It's a must. Blessed Earth. Get this. Now, this is an upgraded form from the other one, but this does great. I'm telling you, man. This is great. Okay, if you have this, have the ability to cast this. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful skill to have. So get it. Blessed Earth. Get it. If you can't get it, try and get a scroll and then match it with a book and then make it. That's what it is. Tectonic Spray. It's a good skill to have if you have a mage that is able to go into the front line area and fight. It's a good skill to have. However, too many ones in the game carry this. And when I tried to use the ones that had the tectonic sprays on them, I wasn't able to finish them. In fact, I started selling them after I had used maybe it once in battle. I'll just sell it off and then go on to the new one that has the tectonic spray on it, and I couldn't use all my ones. So I would say don't even bother putting this on your mage. Get it from the one and you'll do fine. It's a great skill to have, but it's better to use it from your ones. And again, it only petrifies you for only 1 turn. So for me, just check this thing out. This one petrifies you for what? For 2 turns, right? The touch petrifies you for 2 turns, has a 6 turn cooldown. This one petrifies you for only 1 turn. Okay, takes 8 action points. This 4 action points, 8 action points. Right? I mean, no, don't bother about it. Don't even bother using it. But use it from the ones. Okay, don't bother putting it on yourself. Summon Wolf. Do not bother under any circumstance to put this on yourself. This is one of the most useless skills I have ever seen. This wolf does not survive unless you go to Hibernum. Is it Hibernum or is it something? Hibernum is another. It's a cold, very cold stage. Okay, this is good there. It's the only time that this skill is ever good. If you expose this wolf to fire, you have problems. Okay, this wolf doesn't even stay long. Can't even take damage. I mean, it's just almost useless. I mean, compared to the spider would take damage after damage after damage and just keep on trucking. The spider will even walk through fire, just keep on walking. This thing is useless, except in the Hibernum stage. This is just a useless skill to have. Don't bother having it occupy any of your four spaces. Too many ones carry this thing. Too many of them. I started selling them at one point because I discovered how useless it was. So I just sell the one off regardless of the start, because this is just a useless skill. So recap: 4 things to get is the shield, the poison dart, the petrifying touch, the blessed earth. But do not bother yourself with this or this, because you're going to get them in ones. You're going to have a lot of them to play with. Coming down to the master skills, deadly spores, don't bother getting it. Don't bother getting it. It's a waste of time. Don't bother getting it. Okay? The damage you dodge is meager at best. It's useless. Okay? Earthquake, I would say it's good, but towards the end of the game, not really good. I would say, I mean, it's something you use if you're desperate in order to knock down every opponent that you see. If you're very, very desperate, you can use it. But many of the times, with the availability of this earthquake as a scroll, no, don't bother yourself using it. Don't bother. You're gonna find it as a scroll. I just don't think it's worth it, in my personal opinion. Okay, summon Earth. Now, here's the situation. This summon Earth listed, it only stays for 2 turns. That's the thing that pissed me off with this with this skill. It pissed me off. But the good thing about it is that it also has deadly spore ability. So when you summon it, you can also do the deadly spore ability. So basically, it's 2 master skills in 1. That's what it is. And the good thing about it is that so many ones carry this summon Earth Elemental. Okay, so many ones carry it. You can't use enough of it. So, in my personal opinion, you can take Geomancer all the way to 4 and keep it there. Okay, the best place to have it is in 4. Keep it there. You might want to, if you want to take this, that's okay, but you're gonna have it many times in 1. So I don't see the importance of having it on you. The only skill I can say that I would agree that anybody needs to pick up is going to be the Summon Poison Slug. This Summon Poison Slug is a tank in its own right. This thing knows how to take a beating. I'm telling you, this thing will go through hell and back and just still stay standing. This thing is a tank. You know. So I would say this is the best thing to get. The damage is useless. The damage it does is useless, but it's the best tank. Best tank of all elementals that you can summon. This is the best tank in the game, in my personal opinion, that can take beatings compared to the summon spider. This thing will take a beating like no man's business towards the end of the game. Fire is not used a lot towards the end of the game, so this thing is just there, man. It just keeps taking a beating. This earth, they can take care of this earth real quickly, so it doesn't even last more than 1 turn. So I just do the deadly spores and do this other ability and then call it a day. But many times this thing is almost useless. But it's good to have it in your wands. You can summon it from the wands, which is great. And that's a good thing. And again, it only has 2 turns, so you can summon this, do your deadly spores, make sure maybe some of them touch the floor, summon your poison slug, and then you just stay in there, taking all the beatings you can, you know, for that whole duration. So it's great like that. So let's recap The best thing to take is your Summon Poison Slug. That's it. That's the only thing that is strong there. The rest you can get from wands, scrolls, and this thing, because you're gonna have so many of these things, you might not even use them. You don't even know. If you've set up your weapon dealers to be great, I mean, many of these things you're not even gonna use. You're gonna find yourself finishing the game within 1 to 2 turns if you set up your damage dealers great. Yeah, so these guys won't even come into play at all. So let's do a recap. Things to get. All of these are all good, but if you want to have it on all your other characters and you're playing honor mode, the 3 things to get is Boulder Bash, Summon Spider, a Midnight Oil in the beginning of the game. In the middle, mid game to end of game, drop the Boulder Bash and pick up Bless for all the characters, and you do just fine. For the Adepts, Absorption Shield, you don't really need to get it because you're going to get it also in equipment, but it's always good to have it on you, especially for your front line. Magic Poison, that's Petrifying Touch, and then Blessed Earth. You can get all of those. Tectonic Spray, you can get this in many of the wands, many of the clothings. The same thing with Summon Wolf. So many wands that you're going to pick up are going to have this. Just looking at this thing gives me bad memories, because this thing can't even stand up properly, you know? It can't even stand up properly to damage. It's most useless. Spores, don't even bother about it. Cast your eyes away from it. Earthquake, if you're desperate, it's a desperate attempt in order to make sure that you heal all your guys and get 1 turn to heal up everybody, then definitely put this Earthquake on. If not, it's a wasted space. Summon Earth, Elemental, also wasted space. You're going to get them from items, you're going to get them from wands. However, if you have to have it and you're going to level 5 of Geo, again, I'm going to repeat it again. If you're going to level 5 of Geo, then you might need to get it, just to make sure that you have something that makes up for the 2 master skills you're going to have. But other than that, you don't really need to have it on you. Again, like I said, if you're going level 5 because you want to get that environmental immunity, I think it's weatherproof or something like that, which is great, especially if you have elemental affinity and you have weatherproof. Oh my goodness, man, you will be unstoppable. I mean, you can just stay in fire, you can stay on poison, you can stay anywhere. You're just definitely going to be immune to everything. Okay, as long as you don't move from that space, you're going to be immune to all the elements, and also it gives you a -1 to almost every skill as associated with whatever element you are standing on, which is great. This Poison Slug, very great skill to have. This is the tank, it stays all the way. So this versus the Spider, I mean, you can't go wrong, man. If you have that and the Spider, you can't go wrong. So those are great skills to have. Hydrosophist. Now, Hydrosophists have to do with mostly water elements and the healing abilities. So it's and also it goes hand in hand with the Heritage also, to help in stunning people, creating electric floors, and so on and so forth. It's a great skill. If you're a Hydro Mage, take all the skills. As you can see, you only have 5 Hydro abilities. So basically, they cheated the Hydros here. They should have had at least 6 or 7 here, and you have to determine which one. But in this case, you have to have all of them. There's no if or but about it. Okay, so let's go over them. Avatar of Frost. This is good. It's a very great skill. Get it. As you can see, melee attackers may get frozen, which is good. It's a very good skill. It helped me during the first part of the game, helped me towards the end of the game. I mean, it's just fantastic, all around skill to have, to cause freezing, to cause so many status effects. It's a great skill to have. Freezing Touch. It's a great skill for your rogues in the beginning of the game, but after that, it's no longer a good skill. don't bother with it. But it's a great skill. Moving down towards the end of the game, you start dealing with a lot of water situations, and it will give you exactly what you need. Great skill overall. Also, rain. Oh my goodness, this plus tornado, this thing is phenomenal. It definitely helps. Okay, so if you have this on what do you call it again, on your mage, or you can have this on another character, that's still nice. It's still a great skill, to have. Regeneration, I'm gonna say this again. In the beginning of the game, is great for everybody. Before you get the 5-star diner, it's best for everybody to have the regeneration skill. Everybody should have one skill in Hydrosophis, and it's this regeneration. Everybody needs to have it before you put 5-star diner on anybody. Everybody should have it. It's a great, phenomenal skill. It's overpowered in the beginning of the game. It tapers off towards the mid and end game, because then you're gonna have the 5-star diner, which is phenomenal. So yeah, this skill, oh my goodness, is great. But then it starts to do a good amount of healing. If it's coming from your mage, doing almost 220, doing 230, depending on the mage and the intelligence. I mean, right here it doesn't say so, but as we leveled up, I noticed that my rogue, my 200 warriors were doing 120s instead of 70s. They were doing 120s, and then my mages were doing 220s, 230s, 2 turns. So man, it was just phenomenal. It's a great skill altogether. Get it? It's a must. Get it, guys. Okay. All right. Moving forward, slow current. Slow current, in my personal opinion, I never used it a lot. But it is something that you could use if you didn't have the midnight oil or the border bash to stop the individual from coming close to you. It's something you can use, but other than that, I think it's useless. But like I said again, you only have 5 here, so you might as well just get the whole Hydrosophis skills. It's not gonna hurt you. Get it all. Okay, moving forward, the adept skills. This is where they went and put in 6. I'm thinking one of these adept skills was supposed to be part of this here, but then they moved it down, maybe due to people complaining. Oh, hold on. There are 7. Imagine this. How can you do this? Right? How can you do this? I'm thinking one of these skills here was supposed to be up there here, and the best skill I think that should have been up there would have been this what do you call it again? Water of life. I think it needed to have been up here. This water of life. I think it needed to have been up there. But anyway, whichever one, or they don't have any cleansing. Other games have cleansings and so on and so forth. They don't even have it there. So I'm thinking maybe this water of life should have been up here. It should have been one of the cleanses that is supposed to be up here, because remember, in the arrow we had wind of change. In the geo you had things like fortify, you had things like bless. In this one you don't have anything that is clearing up any kind of status effect. You see, nothing, none of it. So maybe cleansing water was supposed to be up there and they forget their place. But anyway, let's move on. Now, what do you need for Hydrosophis skills? What you need, is water of life, cleansing water, ice wall, and then any other thing you want to have. I'll repeat it again. Water of life, cleansing water, ice wall. Every other thing is useless. So you just have to understand that those are the only good things here. Now, moving forward, summon ice. The reason why I didn't pick up summon ice is because too many ice ones have it. Too many of them have it. You're not going to be able to finish up all the ice summons in all the wands, you'll not be able to do it. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to sell so many wands with three summon ice on it, and it pissed me off. But I'll be frank with you, mini fights were ending too fast before you could even use any of the wand summonings, and ice was not getting any love in my playthrough, and I had to sell all of them, and it pissed me off because those are wasted skills, and the ice elements are cheap in to summon, and I just didn't feel great about it. Okay, so that's the main thing. Water of Life, you're gonna have some ones that actually have it. I managed to give one of the only ones that I found with the Water of Life to my Fire Mage to keep on the offhand to use in case my main mage wasn't able to cast the Water of Life. But yeah, I barely used 3 of the Water of Life that were on the wands. I barely used any of it from my Fire Mage. So I had to sell the 2 or the 3 of them that I got that were this out because it was occupying space. So most of the time I do this as a pre-buff, and I get everybody settled, and trust me, this thing is strong. This thing as a pre-buff is just overpowered. It's very strong. If you do that as a pre-buff and then get into the battle, boom, that's like what? That is what? +3 to your constitution. You know what +3 to your constitution does? I mean, you're gonna see life bar go from something that's very small to something like large. I mean, you won't believe it. And trust me, during the whole fight, when those turns are done, sometimes when the life bar comes back to normal, all that damage that you took is useless. It just heals it back. It's not like as if it just takes it. No, it heals it back. Like it just closes itself in. So when you do that, the pre, you increase. Let's just say, for instance, now, let's just say I had 700 life, right? And I do this and I get 1,000 life, right? Now during the fight, I take 300 damage. When this thing ends, my life becomes full at 700. So it's almost like as if nothing really happened. That's how good it is. So it's almost like a buff. You get a buff. Okay? You get a buff before this thing. So it's a great buff. And the buff that I get from my main mage just takes care of this. It takes care of the whole, almost a good amount of the damage during the game. So it's great, so great. Get it before the game starts, and you'll be able to cast it again, probably in game. So yeah, it's a great skill to have. All right, cleansing water. It's a great skill. I mean, look at what it cures. Blind, disease, bleeding, crippling, decaying touch. I mean, you name it, it got it. It has everything in there. Ice shards, do not bother getting it. Too many ones that come will have it. So you're always going to be mining up your Hydro Mage with Summon Ice Elemental and Ice Shard wands, and you're going to be doing your damage that way. Okay. Ice Wall. Ice Wall is a secret OP ability that many people don't know about. Let me repeat it. It's a secret OP ability that people don't know about. This Ice Wall, it has the ability to freeze somebody for 2 turns. Okay, let me repeat that. It has the ability to freeze somebody for 2 turns. But here's the situation. Here is the ultimate part that you don't even see. Even though it does not freeze the enemy, it will lock them inside. That means even the bosses can't move. The bosses can't even do their abilities. It will lock them inside. That means its tendency to miss is 0%. If you want to lock 2 people out of a fight for 2 turns, You drop this on them, through them, cancel them through the fight for 2 turns. 2 turns is a big deal. 2 turns is a big deal. So this skill is just OP. When you're playing honor mode or tactician mode, having this skill alone, using this skill to block off somebody from fighting. I mean, we're talking about the person is not going to even have sight, total sight. The person cannot see the other side. No sight whatsoever. This skill alone, this skill is too overpowered. Too overpowered. This skill. You know? This skill. I mean, you're going to have some ones that are going to have it, or some, listen, but this is a must. Get it the moment you find that. The moment you get the ability to get it. Get it, especially when you get to the, to Silver Glen, which is the second stage or so. Get it quickly. You know, it's a must. All right. Water Adoption Shield. Personally, I've never used this. To me, it's useless. But during the mid game, it helps for you to put it on your frontline person. But the thing about it is that too many gears that are associated with the front line, especially the warrior and especially the warrior. You know, gears and rings, they carry this immune to being frozen, so I would say it's useless. Slow, don't bother about it. So the only 3 I can recommend from this that is a must, that makes Hydrosophist so overpowered, is Water of Life, Cleansing Water, and Ice Wall. The rest are situational. These 2 you can get from once. This one you're gonna get towards the end of the game from apparels. But these 3 from beginning of the game to the end of the game are overpowered. Overpowered. If you know what they are, oh geez, it can really, really save you a big chunk of problems. But these 3 overpowered. You put these 2 on the ones, and you set. There's no if or but about it. This mass slow, that's the reason why you have the midnight oil. Midnight oil does the exact same thing. I mean, why would you even bother yourself with all this mass slow? And you can only use it once per combat. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. Okay, master Hydrosophist skills. Now, hail attack. It's nice to have, but it's better for you to get it in scroll form. There's a lot and lots of scroll. I had almost 6 scrolls by the end of the game. Use it. It will save you a lot of headache with the boss. Just keep dropping it on the boss. End game, you have maybe 13 or even 14 AP. In the beginning of the game, just drop this. Heal attack, heal attack, heal attack. All 3 heal attacks on the bad guy. That's 12 points. That's it. You know, this skill can be used only once, but in the scroll form, please, can be used multiple times. Okay. Mass disease, useless. Don't bother. Okay. Winter blast, you're gonna have this from items. In my personal opinion, it's useless. Just like tectonic spray. This is tectonic spray. This is useless also. Winter blast. Mass heal. Oh man, this is the only thing I can tell you that you should get. Okay, the only thing I can tell you to get. This is for 7 turns. 7 turns. Everybody gets healed for 120. Okay, for me it was 120. So everybody gets healed for 120 points every turn. This then is a lifesaver. Okay, and God help you if you do this before combat. If you do this as a pre-buff, like you do the Water of Life, and then you do mass heal pre-buff and get into the game, whew, let's just say your people are immune for the next 6 turns or so, or 7 turns. Your people are just basically like invincible. So this thing is overpowered in itself. So let's just recap for hydros. We're gonna look at Avatar Storm, Freezing Touch, Rain, regeneration, and Slow Current. These things are very important. If you want to go to Adept, this thing, okay, abilities, Water of Life, Cleansing Water, Ice Wall you can get. For the Summon Elemental and the Ice Shard, you can get this in wands, so get them in your wands, but don't have them on you. Okay, for me, this Ice Shard is useless, in my personal opinion, but you can get them in the wands, and they can basically serve some purpose. And then the last but not least, Mass Heal, get that also, and then get the heal attacks in scroll forms. Make sure you have multiple scrolls of it before the end of the game. That's where you definitely need it. Just keep saving throughout the whole game, and you should have anywhere between 4 to 6. You need at least maybe 4 of them or so in order to kill the boss. You can get them, and again the boss can be frozen, so you understand that even one heal attack itself can freeze the boss. You know, so if you get the heal attack to freeze the boss, that's great. You can even use Earthquake to knock down the boss. The boss is not gonna move. You can use so many things on the boss dragon. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, that's it for Hydro. Menatams. Menatams in itself is a great skill. Okay, there's a ton of skills you can get. A ton of skills, guys. A ton of skills. Now, what I think is important in Menatams, and remember, this is for your rogue, and it's for your two-handed, and also your dual wielding warriors. Okay, and even your shield and sword warriors. Alright, Men-at-Arms is very, very important. I've seen so many people playing Rogue without Men-at-Arms skills. Men-at-Arms skills at certain levels. That is wrong. Rogue needs to utilize both Rogue skills, Men-at-Arms, and also Marksman skills. Okay, so Marksman at 2, right? Marksman at 2, Rogue at 4. You can go Rogue 4, or you can go Rogue 5. I don't like Rogue. Sorry. So this is the rogue. This is how you play the rogue, okay? These are the skills to have on your rogue. On your rogue, you have 1 geo, right? You then have anywhere between 3 to 4 in Men-at-Arms, right? You also have anywhere between 4 and 5 in Scoundrel. And then you have 4 in dual wielding. Plus, again, you're going to get an apparel that has a +1 to dual wielding. So that completes your whole rogue ability. You can always put 1 point into Geo for the skills that I said about, the earlier ones with the Midnight Oil and the Summon Spider. And I think that's it, you know. So in total, you have what? I just see 3, that's 12 plus 4, that's 16. So anything that reaches up to 4 is 16. Okay. No, sorry, that's 10. 4 is 10. Okay, so you have for the Scoundrel class, you have maybe up to 5 if you want to go Scoundrel. 5 Scoundrel. That's going to be 15 plus 10. That is 25. And then you have the 4 in Men-at-Arms, 5 in Scoundrel, which is going to give you 25. And then you put another 4 or 5, which is another 15, which is going to put you at what, 40, right? So you have 9 more points to play with throughout the whole game. So you have dual wielding 5, men at arms 4, scoundrel at 5, which I don't advise you to do. So most of the time I'll say scoundrel at 4, men at arms at 3 or 4. Okay, the reason why you want to go to 4 is because you want to get this flurry in the master skills. That's all. That's the only reason why you go 4, because of the flurry in men at arms. And then you do your dual wielding. Your dual wielding should be very important. You should get dual wielding to 5 as quickly as possible. And that dual wielding, you need to find an equipment that gives you +1 to dual wielding quickly, in order for you to get dual wielding immediately to 5. But it's your most important skill that you need to get up there. Most important skill. You need to get it up there quickly. So put 1 in scoundrel, and then put almost all of it into dual wielding until you can get dual wielding all the way to 4, and then get the dual wielding ability apparel that has +1 to it, and then boom, that's it, and your scoundrel is ready to go and start dishing out damage. Okay. All right. So moving on. Battering ram is very important. Crushing fist. Oh, very, very important. Oh yeah, you gotta get this. Cure wounds. Cure wounds is only one time. I don't know about this one. I'll still get it on maybe only one person, because eventually your dedicated healer, who's going to be the hydro mage, is going to get this. It's going to get an equipment that has cure wounds on it. So I mean, yeah, there's so many healings going on, but it's good to have it on one person. Divine light, don't bother putting it on anybody. It's nice to have because it decreases willpower and bodybuilding by 2. That's the only good thing about it. But other than that, in the beginning of the game, it's a great skill to have. It's almost a must to have. But mid game, end game, is useless. The only thing you're gonna use it for is to clear the area. So in case you have a lot of burning or a lot of poison, you can use it to clear the area. Use it to clear your area. Encourage is good. Have it on 2 of your characters. It's nice to have, because it gives you a boost to strength, dexterity, intelligence, and constitution. Helping hand. Oh yeah, this is a must. You're gonna have a lot of knockdowns. So if you can get a character that can help in getting your man up, that's great. This is a great thing to have on almost all your characters if you can have it. But yeah, it's great to have. It's a must. Defensive stance, useless. Melee stance, great. It's a great thing to have. So the 6 that you must have, okay, is battering ram, crushing fist, encourage, helping hand, melee power stance, and cure wounds. That's it. Close sharp. Okay. In the beginning of the game, you might want to consider picking this up just in case you don't find anybody that has the cure wounds, which is going to be hard for you to tell me that you can't find anybody that is selling the cure wounds. However, I'll just say you will toss this away come mid game to pick up the rest, the rest of the 6. So again, battering ram, crushing fist, cure wounds, encourage, helping hand, and melee power stance. That's the 6 you need, nothing more. Okay, nothing more. You don't need any of that. You don't need anything more than these things. Okay, adepts. So for the adepts, elemental tortoise is useless. Only maybe if you're going to be using a sword and shield. But you know, for me during my run through, I was able to give my tank all the elemental resistance gear. So gear that have multiple resistance, I would put it on my tank. So let's just say the gear apparel, the apparel that he's wearing, the shirts, or the shirt, I say the top armor, I would use all the elemental I forgot what to call them again. There's an elemental like circular bead or whatever it is. I've forgotten what it's called, but I will use those and mix that with the apparel, so that way it gives my my equipment about 17% resistance to whatever element it is. Okay, so it's called an essence. So I would mix the earth essence, the air essence, or whatever it is with my apparel to give 17%. So I basically have all the resistance to whatever apparel that I'm wearing. So it's a better, in my personal opinion, a better this thing than doing this elemental tortoise. However, if your tank has all those resistance on and you put elemental tortoise, then whatever environment your tank is on, if it's on fire, whatever it is gonna heal from that. That's 40% increased healing. Okay, so if you're at 100% and you turn this on, I mean, the amount of healing when you're on fire, when you're moving in fire, is going to be tremendous. Trust me on this one. And if there's a possibility that you're burning, then you're going to be receiving healing from that every time you're burning, which is good. You know, barbed wire is great if you have a tank. You mix it up with the taunt skill. It's great, but I wouldn't even suggest using it. Unless maybe you have only 1 point left and you know you're about to switch over to your power stance, then yeah, you might put this on and use taunt so everybody hits you, and you know, that's great. This chance to hit is also offset by the bless ability. So if you're someone who's using shield and sword, you might want to consider getting this with the taunt. Taunt is a great talent if you have it. However, I didn't put it on any of my tank because Undead Decapitator actually has this skill, and when I summon the Undead Decapitator, which is a witchcraft skill, that thing basically tanks for me. It tanks all the damage. Plus, again, if I put my summon spider on the field too, there's almost no need to even use the shield person. The shield person is just standing by the side, to the point that I had to turn my shield person into a grenadier, you know, to be tossing out grenades. But I mean, with this on the Decapitator, it's made very hard for me to justify using this taunt. However, if you have a shield hero, if you put these two in there, it can definitely cause a lot of trouble. Whirlwind, oof, this skill gave me a lot of bang for my buck. This skill is really good with two-handed dual wielding. Rogues, my rogue benefited so much from this whirlwind. Oh my goodness, incredible. Crippling blow, very good. My rogue also depended on it too. I mean, it does so much. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Rage also, my rogue benefited from it. My tank, my two-handed warrior also benefited from it. I mean, but look at what it's doing. It's giving you a minus 25% and a minus 20. So Fortify helps with this. If you do a pre-buff with Fortify and you do a pre-buff with, I don't do pre-buff with Bless, but I do pre-buff with Fortify. And basically my rogue can just get in there and just do damage. It got to the point that my rogue was single-handedly killing everybody. Now, here's the situation. I don't know what I'm going to say this during the rogue segment, but I'm going to say it anyway. Your rogue depends so much on speed. If you can get your dexterity to a certain level, maybe let's say 8 or 9, just keep it there. Start pumping so much into your speed. All right? If you pump speed so much, you're going to have so much to do. And again, if you have dual wielding and then you have your speed at 9, 10, 11, Normally, odd numbers is really good for the speed situation, but if you have it at nine, at around maybe 9 or 11, I mean, whew, your rogue can do. I mean, your rogue can be a one-man army. The rogue can be one man army, especially with this rage. A one-man army. If your rogue has bless prior to this, and also has the fortify on it, which I normally pre-buff my rogue with. Let's just say that rogue, the rogue is deadly. I'm sorry to say it, is the most deadliest character in the game. I mean, I'm not gonna say deadliest character, but I'm gonna simply say that when you send your rogue in there to begin the fight, let's just say no one has a chance. So let's recap on what's good in the adept skills. In the adept skills, I'm going to say this. The 3 skills to get are these 3: Whirlwind, Crippling Blow, and Rage. Okay? If you have a Sword and Shield, then it would be nice for you to have Barbed Wire and Taunt. Alright? But other than that, if it is a Sword and Shield, Barbed Wire, Taunt, Crippling Blow, and Whirlwind, that's it. If it's a two-handed person, I would say these 3: Whirlwind, Crippling Blow, Rage, and then you can also put maybe Taunt if you want to, or you can put Elemental Resistance if you want to. You know, basically, if you already know you've already arrived at where you want to be, let's say you're in the middle of the fire, you just arrived at the middle of the fire, or you're going to battle ram through fire, you can actually put this skill up. Elemental Tortoise, you can put this skill up, battle ram through fire or through poison, get your healing through it, because there's going to be a lot of healing. Like normally, if you battle ram through fire, you might end up like killing your tank when you're going through, or your rogue when you're going through. But if you put that out there quickly and you battle ram through it, and you have 100 or something extra, you're gonna heal through it. Okay, so yeah, so those are the skills. These are the main skills to get for the two-handed individuals, or for the dual-wielding individuals. But if you go in Sword and Shield, then you have to consider these 2. Or if you're going to be playing Reckless, then you might just end up adding this to your two-handed. So it's going to be, for a two-handed, I would say this, and you only do this because basically you're about to what do you call it again? You're about to run through fire, whatever it is, so you increase your resistance, and then when you arrive at the other end, you just put in your melee power stance, and then you get to town. That's it. Okay, if you want to go Matter of Arms 5, maybe if you're playing a dual wielding warrior, or you're playing a one-shielded warrior, whatever it is, basically these 2 skills are great to have. Flurry is great, Shackles of Pain is great. It depends on you, but yeah, these 2 skills are really great. So I would say overall, Man of Arms is one of the best set of skills that were designed in this game. I mean, it was designed to punish the enemy with tons and tons of damage. It's great skill overall. Great skills that were designed here. I just believe that, man, without these skills, I don't think a lot of my characters would have made it out alive. So moving forward, pyrokinetics, I don't need to say much about it. You already know it's intelligent based. You already know it has to do with fire. So those are the main things. So I'm going to quickly run through this quickly. Burn My Eye is very important. This gives you +2 to perception. This definitely helps in increasing your AP. Okay, so you can do this as a pre-buff for all your character, which help them to get the AP. However, if somebody has a very good initial skill, and they have to go first, and it's the mage can do this and pour this onto the rogue, onto your two-handed, in order for them to start up with 2 extra perceptions on there that allows them to get an extra starting distance. So this is only good during the beginning of the game. Okay, in doing before any of your melee characters go out, make sure that your mage character has a very high initiative, so that way it will always do burn my eyes on your tanks or rogues or whatever it is, so they have an extra starting AP. That's very, very important. And then after that, yeah, it doesn't really affect it anymore. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Burning touch, man. This is a very good ability to burn down doors or burn down chests. This skill, its cooldown is so fast. It's not even a joke. Especially if you have a high amount of pyro. It's almost like every other turn or something like that. So it's a very great skill to have all throughout the whole game. Great skill overall. Firefly. This skill is good. It does a lot of burning, especially in the beginning of the game. Towards the middle of the game, I don't think you're gonna need it as much, but it's a great skill overall. Flare. This skill is good in the beginning of the game. Costs too much AP. However, if you have fire on the floor, it's a great fire starter. However, I like Firefly better. The Firefly, I don't need to have a fire oil on the floor in order to get my fire. I can get it immediately. Okay, so this Firefly is better than Flare, but you're gonna get a lot of items that are gonna give you a lot of flare. So it's a good starting point, but sooner or later you're gonna hate it. Avatar of the Flame. Avatar of the Flame is a good skill to have in the beginning of the game. Very great skill overall. Must have with time. So yeah, self-immolation. Self-immolation. It's a good skill also. It depends on how you want to use it, but a lot of ones also carry it too. Personally, I don't recommend you to have this on you, but if you want to have it, great. But a lot of ones carry self-immolation on them, so you're not going to be missing out on that. Wildfire. This is a must. Get it on everybody if you can. But the truth of the matter is that as you get further in the game, you start to miss this a lot. So I'll just say get this on your two mages that have maybe high intelligence. But after that, that's it. But this will definitely help, especially when your characters have a high likelihood of being frozen. This definitely gets them more warmed up and also increases their haste. So the 6 skills to have: Burn My Eyes, Burning Touch, Firefly, Avatar of Fire, self-immolation, and Wildfire. You can get all of those, but I would say this skill is not really needed because a lot of ones carry it. So I might just say Flare until you're not able to find any more ones that carry this self-immolation, and then you can get this and then drop this. But other than that, those are the 6 skills to get. Okay, again: Burn My Eyes, Burning Touch, Firefly, Avatar of Fire, self-immolation, and Wildfire. That's it. Don't bother anything more. Now for the adepts. For the adepts, you have Smoke Screen. Smoke Screen, I don't know. It really didn't help me a lot in the game. But it does help in bringing the enemies closer. So basically, I block their vision, and then they have to come through. Especially if they have a lot of archers, I can use this to block vision. That's the main thing. Alright, so the archers are now forced to come closer to us in order to do damage. And guess what's waiting for them on the other side of the smoke? You guessed it, fire. Okay, that's what's going to be waiting for them. So they will have to drop into the fire in order to attempt to touch us, and that means there's a possibility they're going to get burned, and we can do a lot of damages using the spiders and the undead decapitator and so many other summons throughout the whole game. So that's a great thing. Summon fire element. I would say this skill is basically useless. You have a lot of ones that actually have it. However, if you're able to get it, I would not suggest even for you to have it. You know, the too many ones that actually have this summon fire elemental. Too many of them. But if you want to have it, go ahead. It's a skill. I mean, it's great in the beginning of the game. It becomes useless in the mid, and then it regains its status in the, at the end of the game. So yeah, explode. I don't know about this explode. I think this explode is it's an older form of what we call. I know in the new game it's called some kind of it's kind of I don't know what it's called. I've forgotten what it's called. Uh, Emulation, or is it emulation? I've forgotten what it's called. In the part two of the game, it's called a different name. But you basically explode for about what 2 AP, or is it 3 AP in the new game, in the Dust 2. But this skill in itself, I think you have to be in the middle of everybody. If you mix this up with men at arms, battering ram, and then you go in the middle and then you explode in there, that is great. But in my personal opinion, uh, the damage, you're basically killing yourself and you're killing the enemy. I mean, I just think this is a suicide bomber. I didn't really make use of it because I just felt it was too expensive for what it made me do. So no, I would say if there's anybody that should be carrying this, I would say it's the tank. The tank is the only one. If you have a tank that has this on them, and has also the elemental tortoise or whatever it is, you can mix this up in there, get the tank in there with battering ram, and then explode. Yeah, I would say it's a good reason for you to go +2 to pyro for a tank. Because at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, I didn't have any place to put any more skills for my tank, because after I finished putting after I made the what do you call it again? After I get men of arms up to 5, and I made the scoundrel skill to come up also, and I made the two-handed also. I didn't have any place else to put any skill in. So if you wanted to put skill in the beginning of the game into this, I mean, it's great. It's a great place to do so. Fire absorption shield. Okay, so now here we go. You can mix this fire absorption shield with this explosion, right? So if you have a fire absorption shield, you have the explosion, you can mix it up. So basically, you're not going to take the damage. Everybody else is going to take the damage, but the absorption shield is going to keep you safe. Fireball. At the beginning of the game, don't bother getting it. Towards the end of the game, you can get it if you want to. It's okay, but yeah, it's up to you. But overall, so many ones carry it in the beginning of the game, so yeah, almost no use, but it's a great skill. Purifying flames. This is also a good thing in case you don't have wildfire everywhere. You can always get this to help with the freezing. Okay, which you're gonna get, and also you're gonna get charm. The enemy is gonna attempt to charm your heroes multiple times. If you use charm on the charmed hero, or you use purifying flames, it definitely helps. So this is very, very important for you to get early in the game. Very, very important, and it will save you a whole lot of headache of seeing your own characters try to to kill you. So it's very, very important. So, which 4 adepts do you need to get? Well, they are right here. Fire absorption shield, fireball, purifying touch. That's it. The rest are just sauce. That's what I'm going to simply say. The rest is just sauce. Smoke screen, you can get it anywhere, so you might want to use it. However, you have a grenade, a smoke screen grenade. That one also works too. So why even bother? You can just toss the grenade for three distance with your grenade here, and it takes care of that. You don't even need this. You need 5 action points to do this when you can just pop your smoke screen for that long too. So why bother? Summon fire elemental. Yeah, you make him. You might make a case for it if you want to, but hey, that's on you. I would say in the beginning of the game, no. Beginning of the game, yeah, it's good. Mid game, not so good. End of game, so you can debate on it, but like I said, only these three counts in my personal opinion. You can add this for the tank if you want to. You mix up this, explode with this, it might work because they're both 3-3. So which is 6. So it's equivalent to 6 points. And then the battling ram, battling ram is 4 points. So if you have 10 points in your certain game, you can basically put. So let's say your mage goes first, which is important for you to do. So your mage must always have the highest initiative. You put this on your tank, right? You put that on your tank, right? And then you put this on your, and then you send your mage or rogue into the battle, and then blow. And no, so you send your, yeah, you can put it on the mage too, but you put your rogue or you put your tank on this, and then boom, go in there and blow it down. That's it. So like I said, it's only just 3-3. Master level skills. Don't bother about immolation. Too many ones carry immolation. Too many ones carry immolation. I'm sorry to say, too many ones carry immolation. Drop the skill. The damage it does is not even a good damage, so leave the skill alone. I felt like it should have been doing multiple damage, burn everything, but no, it doesn't do that. It just does something like a tornado, fire burn, and then that's it. And does maybe about 100 or 200 damage. That's it. Useless. Infectious flame also. In order to get the full effect of this infectious flame, the characters must be close. If not, you get rubbish. It's useless. Meteor strikes. Meteor strikes, I would say, is the only one that, to some degree, is a great skill to have. So if you can have it, great. It's a very good skill to have. One turn alone is enough to take down almost everybody. I mean, we're talking about 30 fireballs. 30 fireballs. 30 fireballs. I want you to put that in your mind. 30 fireballs. 30. Oh man. This thing is enough to complete the game for you. So yeah. Anything that survives after you toss this down, it's an OG. You know, so this is enough. And let me tell you something, the area of effect for fireball is huge. So that means almost everybody's gonna get hit regardless. But this thing is crazy. Very, very strong. It and the ice. Oh Jesus. Those two things are just deadly. You can just start a game as the enemies. If you start a game before the enemies start, you drop this on their head, boom, that's all. That's all you wrote. You don't need any other thing. This thing just makes the game broken towards the end of the game. Fights only last the first turn of your character. If your first turn of your character is of your fire mage is higher than the rest, and you're able to put burn my eyes on your mage before the fight, you can cast this skill and then call it a day. So this is the only skill, in my personal opinion, that's worth anything, because this thing makes all the fights around level 15, starting from level 15, it makes it a one-turn fight. So you don't even need to fight anymore. You just drop this, boom, and anybody dies. And anybody who manages to survive, if your ice mage is the next one, you just drop the hill and call it a day. That's it. I mean, I'm talking about people who don't even last the fight. This thing just broke the game for me, in my personal opinion. It just broke the game. Nothing really survives it. Nothing. So that's it. So the only thing to get is Meteor Shower. Yeah, you can get Pyro all the way to 4, and that's it. You don't need to get it all the way to 5. I don't think there's anything that Pyro 5 gives you in the game that's really good. I don't think it's worth it. So that's it for Pyro. And if you want me to go over it, let me go over it for the Pyro. Burn My Eyes, Burning Touch, Firefly, Avatar of Fire, Self-Immolation, Wildfire, Fire Exhaustion Shield, Fireball, Purifying Fire, and Meteor Shower. That's all you need, and you can get your pyro up to 4. That's it. Don't even bother going higher than that. If you want to do some shenanigans or use some of these other skills, you can get them from equipment. And this one you get them from lots and lots of ones, but this one you can get from an equipment. Besides that, it's useless. Scoundrel. This and Man at Arms are the 2 best skills in the game, in my personal opinion. I think this thing gives you a good chance to do a lot of things in the game. Great for just so many things, man. These skills are just phenomenal. Fast tracked, everybody must have this. Whether they can cast it or not, I don't care. Have it on everybody. Okay? This is a cheaper form of Wildfire without the warm status. This is great. Lacerate, Precision Strikes. You must have these ones. Walk in the Shadow. It's almost essential when you start in the beginning of the game, in order to take everything from everybody in the game and go and sell it. Find where you can sell it and sell it. Anything that isn't nailed down, you sell it. Once you have this on you, you can pick up everything in the game without anybody disturbing you. You take it, anything that isn't nailed down, go and sell it. That's it. Adrenaline, you can use it only towards the end of the game. And you only use it because you want to finish the game faster. That means if you know you have only 1 character left that you have to kill in order to end the fight, and you know that 4 AP or 5 AP or 6 AP is the only thing that you need in order to finish that character, do it, you end the fight a little bit faster. Trip, this was a good skill in the beginning. In the middle of the game, it becomes useless. End of the game, it becomes useless. So I would say determine when you want to use it. But I'd say in the middle of the game is good, end of the game is rubbish. Venomous Strike, this is a good stuff. Mid game, end game is great. Wing Feet, man, this Wing Feet is one of the best things that you can ever have on your rogue, that is going to be exploring almost all the dungeons, all the bad locations. If you have this on your rogue, let's just say it's a great start. Okay, so what are the 6 things that you need to have in your rogue? Fast track, lacerate, precision strike. Those ones are good. These ones are really good. All of them are good. Walking shadows, very important. And then you have to pick up 2 more. I would say this: pick up Wing Feet and Venomous Strike and leave it there. Do not bother with Trip, do not bother with Adrenaline, leave it alone. Okay? Now, towards the end of the game, if you really need it, which I would say you don't, you can go with Adrenaline. But the penalty is too much. I don't think it's worth the penalty. So, don't bother. Okay, Scoundrel School, Adept School. Okay, Adept School, the 4 skills you need, in my personal opinion: Cloak and Dagger, Wind Up Toy, Daggers Drawn. Oh jeez, I cannot stress this enough. Daggers Drawn plus Rage plus plus melee power stance. It one-shots even bosses. It one-shots even bosses. This skill is just so overpowered. This skill should have even been a master skill, in my personal opinion. A master skill. This skill is just OP. OP as hell. So So you can take eye gouge. Eye gouge is okay, but not really impressed with the damage it does. So what are the four I would suggest that you take? Ours is Cloak and Dagger, Wind Up Toy, Daggers Drawn, and Eye Gouge. That's it. Now you can take Become Air, but you can only use it only one turn in every fight. And I don't like that. This one actually causes blinding, which is good. But this, I mean, it's good, but when I used it, it just wasn't bringing. It didn't give me what I wanted. I think this skill is really good if you put it on your two-handed on your tank. If you put this skill on your tank, this plus taunt would work really great. So yeah, very good. For the master abilities, they're all useless. However, Shadow Step is good because it gives me opportunities to do 1 turn 700 damage, sometimes 800 damage, 1 turn just for 6 points, 800 damage. And it takes into account your rage, your power stance. Okay, so you can do so much damage with just 6 points, so much damage. But this cannot compare to Daggers Drawn. Daggers Drawn is a lot of, I mean, we're talking about almost 1500 damage, 2000 damage if possible. This shadow step, that's 700, 800 damage you're gonna get. You know, if you're dual wielding, I mean, that's a lot of damage. So it's good. Coup de Grace is only good for bosses. 20% on the boss is still huge. It's still huge. It's a lot of items to chew through. So Coup de Grace, if you use that on the boss, whew, I just say, hey, the boss understands what's about to happen. Crawling Infestation is not that strong, being that the things that it actually creates, it's more like a summon. Okay, if it was like if it was like the monstrous animals that comes out of it are immune to all attacks, cannot be destroyed, and they will continue to do what they want to do, then yes, I will agree with it. But I mean, only one hit can kill all those creatures that you summon, so it's useless, really. I think it's a crab, a small spider, and something else that you summon. They're all useless, but they do a lot of damage though. So what you do is you carry this Crawling Infestation, right? So what you do is you summon your Wind Up Toy, put Crawling Infestation on it, and then have your Arrow Mage to cast this with teleportation to the enemy side, so it blows up. And then once it blows up, those 3 critters now comes out and start doing damage, and they're gonna damage you around maybe level 9, level 10. Those small critters will damage you, but it's only used for a very short amount of time, and then afterwards you just toss it away. So this is just a short period of time. Don't bother keeping it for long. If you're lucky to get it early. I wasn't level 12 when I got it. I think I was I think maybe I was level 11 level 8 or so when I got it. I was able to put it on, but it was useless. So don't bother with it. So let's go over it. Let's see what we can, when it comes to the scoundrel, let's see the abilities you need to get. Fast track, lacerate, piercing, precision strike, walk in the shadows, okay, a venomous strike, and a wing feet. Many of these things you can get from the lady in the bar area. I think the bar area is that place where you go to investigate where that man died, where he was killed. That bar hotel area where he was killed. The upstairs of it is where you can get the woman who sells all of this. Okay, and she also sells witchcraft items too. So get all of this from there. For the adept skills, cloak and dagger, eye gouge, wind up toy, daggers drawn. This is from another woman again from Silver Glen area. When you go into Silver Glen, she's going to be the woman at the back area that is next to a chest inside the brothel area. You can buy these ones from her. The cloak and dagger, daggers drawn, and wind up toy from her, and becoming even air. I think you can get it from her too. So those are the four. So it's going to be eye gouge, cloak and dagger, daggers drawn, and wind up toy. And then if you want to go master skills, which I don't even know whether it's very important, but you're going to go to level 4 because you want to get the 4 of these. Although eye gouge is not that important, so you can go kind of up to 3 and then leave it there. So you get your cloak and dagger, your daggers drawn, and your wind up toy. That's going to be it. But if you want to go scoundrel 4 and add eye gouge, or becoming become air, which is, I don't think is great. You might as well just put maybe shadow step there. That's the only thing I would suggest that you put. The rest you can forget it. Okay, that's it. Witchcraft skills. This is a very good skill, especially if you have a mage with that you increase the dual wielding of the mage. The mage can cast 2 wands for the cost of 3 only. This is a very good skill to have. Skills that you really need. In my personal opinion on what I used Oath of Desecration, which is great. Okay. Decaying Touch is good if you're gonna be doing healing on the person, but the only 2 skills that I basically enjoyed using is just Oath of Desecration and Summon Undead. That's it. The rest I don't even know what they're doing here. They're just a waste of time. Okay, the rest are just a waste of time. However, if you wish to pick up anything, go ahead and pick up the remaining. Since you're going to pass maybe go to level 2 for the mage, you might as well just get all of it. But I think Oath of Desecration and Summon Undead are the only 2 things that I enjoyed there, and then the rest are just, if they show up, they show up. If they don't show up, they don't show up. I don't even know what. I think those are the only things there. The rest are just useless in my personal opinion. Okay, now moving forward. Because of the adept skills is the main reason why you want to go up to 4 for the witchcraft. The adept skills are where it's at. The remaining are just a waste of time in my personal opinion. But the adept skill is where it is. Rupture. Oh, this skill saved my ass way too many times. It's a very great skill. Get it. It's a must. It champs an opponent for 6 turns. You can also combine this with Drain Willpower. So if you do Drain Willpower, which is a 3, Rupture, which is a 6, you're always going to get your captured person. The person's going to be yours for 2 turns. Okay? They're going to be charmed for 2 turns. So it's a must. They're always going to be there. So if you get these 2, boom, you're always going to have this. The next one you need to get as quickly as possible is this. This is very, very important. This destroys someone. I kid you not. How many times people have created summons and these summons have caused problems? This destroy someone is great. Get it. It's a must. Okay? So, drain life, rupture, and destroy someone is great. And then you get your summon dead, undead decapitator. This kill is great. This kill is my tank. This is my main tank. So once I summon this creature, comes out and it just tanks for me, does the taunt, stands in front of the lines, and just keeps on taking the damage. Okay, so those are the four. Those are the four that I would say pick. There's no if or but. You can try to do the remaining, but they are all useless in my personal opinion. This mute useless. I don't bother with it. But I mean, you can get it in the beginning of the game where you are going to have a lot of mages who are trying to do a lot of abilities, and afterwards you would have your rogue that would do so much damage that these mages won't even live to even cast a spell for themselves. If you go after them, if you go after the mages, you go after the archers with your rogue as you start the beginning of the game, these guys will not even have an opportunity to do anything. They'll be dead by the time you even want to even cast this mute. It's useless, so don't bother with it. So basically, you know what the mute does. Mute is one that silences the target. Don't bother. Things you want to get: destroy someone, rupture, drain willpower, and summon undead decapitator. That's the only reason why you have to go to 4 of witchcraft. That's the only reason why you have to go to 4 of witchcraft. The rest is up to you. I think if I was to go any other place, it would be invulnerability or soul swap for the master skills. The rest, let's just say, they are not worth it, in my personal opinion. They are not worth it. This resurrect, you already have a resurrect scroll, so why bother? And again, if you put morning person, which you must have for all of your characters in the game, when you're playing on honor mode, all your characters must have morning person. If you do not do that, you're gonna regret it. All your characters must have morning person in the game. Morning person is very important, so that when you resurrect them, they have full life. If you're playing Dust 2, you don't need it. But if you're playing Dust 1, you need it. You need morning person. It's a must on honor mode. It's a must. So yeah, if you have the scrolls, which are cheap, which is about $84 or so to get the scroll, I mean, like, come on, man. You don't need this. This is useless. Horrific Scream is good at times, especially when you're trying to do crowd control. But other than that, it's not worth the juice. I say the juice here is really invulnerability, which is only 1 turn, or maybe soul swap. That's really good. Those are the only 2. Besides that, the only thing you can just get is invulnerability. It's the greatest of all. Just get this and close shop. The rest are just useless. So let's go over the witchcraft series. You can take all of these things for fun. All of them for fun. Since you're going 4, take all of them for fun. Test them out. See which one works for you. That's just for you. But for me, Order Discretion, Summon Undead Warrior is great. Get those 2. But like I said, it's only 6. You can go up to 6, right? So since you're going up to 6, you might as well just get all of them. But the only 2 you're going to need is the Order Discretion and Summon Undead Warrior. You can use the remaining if you feel that there's more AP points that you want to throw around. For adept skills, destroy someone, rupture, drain willpower, and someone armored undead decapitator is a must. Get those 4, and that's it. This mute you might want to experiment in the beginning of the game. between mute and rupture, but eventually you come to your senses and you find out that the only things you need are these four that I just labeled here. That's it. If you want to experiment and go all the way down to four, I won't suggest five in this series. I won't suggest five in this series. And again, I'm going to say it again. I wouldn't suggest a five in this series. However, when you go four, the only thing to get is invulnerability. However, if you go five, you should go soul swap and close shop there. The remaining three of these, you can get resurrection with a with scrolls. There's a resurrection scrolls everywhere for $84, 84 whatever the money this is. Screams. I had so many scrolls for screams. I had so many scrolls for Dead Punch. So let's just say I had too much of it. Now here's the situation, guys. Every 1 hour, I will repeat this again, every 1 hour in the game, go to the upstairs of the mayor's house in Sicil and buy scrolls. Okay, they're only 25 cents. Empty scrolls, only 25 cents. Then get somebody who has crafting at level 5 and have them craft all your scrolls, so you have the ability to have all the scrolls in the game. Okay, so if you have somebody with level 5 scrolls, level 5 crafting, you can have all the scrolls as much as you want, as long as you're doing your due diligence every 1 hour to spend almost $100 to come buy an empty scroll of whatever you're choosing is. Go up there to the mayor's house in Sicil. Go up there to the ogre, or is it the ogre? Go up there, buy the scrolls for $25 or whatever it is that they have there. It's very, very cheap. It won't even make a difference. You have so many empty scrolls, but before you know what's going on, and you have all these things all filled up, it'll be in excess. It's just gonna be a lot for you. So yeah. So that's about it for these guys. And then for the specials, Death Knight Bane. Basically, you get this. I think you have to combine the Leandra's blood with Leandra's vial or whatever it is. You have to get that with the Leandra's book or something like that. You know, to get Death Knight Bane and basically use it on all your characters. And then you have another skill again called Summon Nick, which you should put on your tank. You know, that's this thing. That's a character that you should put on there, but it's not here. But it's something that you should have there. Oh yeah, somebody even mentioned it. Yeah, no head Nick. Let's see what it put here. Any other one again that I'm missing here? I don't know. I don't think so. So, all right, guys. That's been a bit of a pleasure. We've gone through all of these skills that I needed. I wish you guys the best in your playthroughs. This is a great game to have, a great game to enjoy. As long as you know what you want to put on your characters, which I took the time today to go over each of them, tell you which ones are the best, which ones are the ones not to get. If you want me to talk about how to go about putting the skills on your character, I'll be more than happy to do that if you guys want that. But I'm going to say this, like I said earlier on during the rogue area, when I was talking about the rogue, many people don't know how to play the rogue, but other people know how to experiment with other characters. So for me, the rogue is going to be this. You have to have one in Geomancer because you want to create all the fires. You want to have a 4 in the scoundrel ability, okay? But that's not your priority. Your priority is to get your dual wielding up all the way to 5, and that's going to be 10. That's going to be 15 points you're going to spend altogether. However, what you need to do is make sure that you have 1 point, okay, in the beginning of the game. Have only 1 point in Scoundrel, and then the remaining 4 points you can put it towards your dual wielding. Okay, so at the end of the day, you're going to have only what? You're going to have dual wielding at 2. and you're going to have a scoundrel at 1, which gives you access to only 3 skills, which is good. And then you put 1 more skill in men at arms to get the battering ram, and then you hold off on that. And then the next stage 2, when you enter into your second level, you go ahead and make your dual wielding 3, right? And then your third level, you're not going to do anything with the AP. You're going to get there. Your fourth level, you're going to put both of them into your dual wielding, which you're going to put your dual wielding to 4. Now, at your fourth level, you should go around looking for skills. Okay, you go around looking for apparels that will give you a +1 to dual wielding. You can find them. Okay, if you're lucky enough to use your what do you call it again? Your invincibility ability, and find a way at level 4 to go all the way to Silver Glen. If you can use your invincibility ability to go to Silver Glen, you can find your dual wielding real fast. And once you find your dual wielding +1 to dual wielding, that's it. It completes it. So by level 4, you can have a 5 in dual wielding, and then your rogue is set to start doing some really nasty, dirty damage. You know, and then you just continue from there. You keep adding some more points into man of arms, the scoundrel, to keep increasing it up, and that's basically it. And then maybe you can put point here in arrow, put point here in this and that. I mean, whatever you want to do, but that's how you play it. For your warrior, you know, most of the things going to be in man of arms, and your two-handed or your distance. So it's always great to get your two-handed up and up, and then your men of arms comes up later. For the mages, you can afford to dance around to give them access to so many skill areas, so many skill books. I would suggest that you put at least 1 point in scoundrel for your mages, so they can have access to haste. Okay, the wildfire costs too much, but fast track is a little bit cheaper. It's only 2 points. There's a 50% chance in getting it or not getting it, but it's always great to have it. Most of the time during the whole game, I would tell you that there were only minute amount of chances for me not to be able to apply haste, but many of the times I always was successful in applying haste. So I would say everybody needs to have that, in my personal opinion. Yeah, so that's about it. For your mages, just try to distribute the points, make sure that they are into the classes that you want, and you can get to wherever you need to get to. So alright guys, I think it's been a pleasure. We've spoken a lot about a lot of things, and I really appreciate the time and effort that you guys are giving to me to this stream. I really thank you guys for coming out, and I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Until then, have a great day. I wish you all the best. Cheers guys.